Hey folks, Dave back here in Studio B, and I got another quick video to do here tonight. As Stumbled on a new hockey game here, and I got to say that this was a one that Hockey Unreal found that I saw on his channel, and it was Smelly Wrestling Geek who said I should check it out as well. So we're gonna take a look at it tonight. As I just set up my chat here, I just want to make sure that it's only subscribers only, so we don't get any of the nonsense in here. So hopefully that'll do. But yeah, so let's check out this game here. It is called Quick. What is it? Before I open my mouth here, Quick Results Hockey is what it is. So where can we find this game? All right, so we can find this game at this website right here. I'm just setting up here. Sorry about that. Let's go to. I'm gonna have to show you my super secret screen here because my shortcut to go between scenes is messed up with Excel. So let's see if I can do this here. So let's go like this, and yeah, so you're going to see that for 1 second. All right, here we are. So Quick Results Hockey, qrhockey.weebly.com. That's where you find it. qrhockey.weebly, weebly.com. So it's almost similar to the Pocket Pennant. They're using the Weebly websites here. This game is free. To the best I can tell, this game is free. And so when you scroll down, you'll get some rules and charts and score sheets lights and your seasons. And actually, they added some seasons. I heard they didn't have that many, but they have a few. So you have the regular file and then the light file, and I'll show you the difference between all of those. And let's see here. And then, they have the Summit Series. They have the 80 Olympics and the 87 Canada Cup. Fantastic. Fantastic. So let me show you what we have going on here. They have a few other things. They have some spreadsheets here. I haven't figured out what they really do yet. But what I want to do is kind of show you the game, and we'll play a couple of games here. So let's go to here and here. All righty. So you get the rules here. And how you play the game is you determine your goalie. Then you put in the goalie's defense and the team's offense. There's an adjustment to make that gives you your team potential. You roll a die on a chart, which would be this chart right here, your D6 modifier. And then you roll a D6 for your goals. Add that with the modifier. That's your score. And then you have one last chance to change the score with some supplementary rolls. And then there's also overtime as well. Now, I've only played a couple of games here, but I think I got the hang of it. So there's a couple of ways to choose the goalie, and it's kind of fun, actually. So here's what's called the light version of the game, where as you can see, you got all your teams here, and you got the goalies, and all the information you need is right here. If you want to keep scores of like goals and assists, I should say, it does have a full version over here. And when you do your goalie, it's kind of neat. It goes by jersey number. That's kind of cool. So if you come over here and you roll your die, let's just start with I'll go with the Canadians. So we'll roll the dice here. So this is a 6-sided, this is a 10-sided. So 42, so Dryden would be in net for the Canadians. And if they were playing the Islanders, a 26 would be Billy Smith, if you're using the light version of this. If you want to use the full version, it goes by jersey number, and it's kind of neat. So I would roll the dice here. So I get a 5 and a 5. So 5 and a 5 would be 1, so it would go to Phil Muir. And then if I was playing against, let's say, the Boston Bruins, I'd roll the dice here. And I got a 3 and a 7, so that's a 1, so it'd be Gilles Gilbert. So it was kind of neat that they set it up by jersey number 2 on the full sheet compared to the light sheet. But no matter how you do it, you can get your goalie number there. Or I suppose if you wanted to, you could just pick your goaltender that you wanted to play. So we're going to go back here to the quick sheet here, and we're going to play a game between the Rangers and the Flyers. And you can see down here, I've already determined my goalies. I pre-roll for the goalies. But again, you could roll the dice over here. And a 39 would be Jacquemin for the Rangers. And if I roll again for the Flyers, a 67 would actually be Wayne Stevenson in net. But for this exercise here, we're going to have it be Parent and Jacquemin. So the first thing you need to do, now I set up my spreadsheet here to kind of make this easier on me. So we need the Parent defense. So if we go to Bernie Parent, he has a -4 next to his name. So that's really good. So we're going to go -4 for Parent, okay? The Flyers' offense is 11. Now, Jacquemin is a 10. So that's not that good. So Jacquemin's a 10, and the Rangers' offense is a 15. Okay? So what we've done here is we have Perrant as a -4, Jacquemin is a 10. The offense for the Flyers is 11, and the offense for the Rangers is 15. How the math works out is determine your goal potential number, okay, and I'll tell you what that is in 1 second. It's the Flyers defense plus the Rangers offense, and subtracting 2 for being home and away you subtract 2. And I believe that's how this is done. So it would be -4 plus 15 minus 2. That's going to give us a potential of, am I did that correctly? No, I said that backwards. I'm sorry. It's the, I'm sorry. Let me start this again. I'm tired. To get your potential, it's the other team's defense plus your offense. And if you're away, it's -2. So that's how we get this. So it's 21 minus 2 is 19. Okay, there I got it right. I said it wrong. I get confused. This is like the Downey games. When you cross-reference an offense and defense, it does get confusing at first. But now I got it. So to get Philadelphia, we look at the Philadelphia offense with the Ranger defense. That's 21 minus 2, 19. For the Rangers, it's the opposite. It's their offense with the Flyer defense. So that would be 15 minus 4 is 11 plus 2 because their home is 13. So, all right, did we get that? So it's your offense plus their defense -2 away plus 2 home. So that's how we get our potential. So again, the Rangers offense is 15 minus 4 is 11 plus 2 is 13. So that's kind of how the formula works. So it's like bing, bang, boom, and then bing, bang, boom. Okay? A little confusing. I screwed that up big time when I explained that, but it's really not that hard. I probably should have put offense first and then defense, but I wanted to put the defense here right next to the goalie so I know what the goalie rating is. Again, Perrant up here is a -4, so I put him -4. Jacquemin's a 10. Okay, so I used to do offense and then defense, so this one I'm just reversing here. So anyway, so we have our potential. All right, now that I screwed that up, hopefully you followed that. Again, it's your offense plus their defense and then the home-away modifier get you your potential. From the potential, what you do is you come over here to this chart right here, and this is going to be your D6 modifier. And that's going to be any adjustments made to the D6 roll for your score. Okay? Hey, Al Red Sox fan. So, we're going to roll a D20, and the Flyers' potential is 19. So, we're going to look over here, right in the middle here, kind of right down the center here. So, the potential goes from 1 to 40. In theory, you could get less than 1 or more than 40, and there's rules in here to explain what to do if that is the case. Luckily, in this game here, we have a 19 and a 13, okay? So let's roll here. I got a D20 here. This little the teal one here is a 27, so I got a 17. So we have a potential of 19 and in column 17. So potential of 19 in column 17, so that is a 0. So my D6 modification is going to be 0 for the Flyers. Now, for the Rangers, they have a 13 potential, and I have an 11. So I go to 13, and I find the 11, and the 11 is -1 with a little asterisk. All right, so it's a -1, but I have to remember the asterisk. What the asterisk means is that you can't have a shutout. It's a shutout buster. Okay, so if I go to my rules over here, and I scroll down here, and I go to my team potential, and where is it here? It's called the shutout buster. Yes, all results with an asterisk on the D6 modifier are shutout protected. So if you hit a -2 with an asterisk and you roll 2 on the D, you still get 1. So it's not going to be a shutout. So the minimum is going to be 1 if I rolled that. So I have to keep that in mind, that on my roll of 11, and so I'm 13 and 11 is a -1 with an asterisk. So I have to make a note of that. I don't know, because if I put an asterisk in there, I might screw it up. So I don't want to screw up my formulas here. So -1 is an asterisk. So they can't get shut out is what's happening. So let's roll my D6. All right. The Flyers will be on the left and the Rangers on the right. So I get a 3 and a 2. So how this works is the Flyers rolled the D6 of 3. Their modification was 0. The Rangers rolled a 2, and their modification was -1. So right now the score is 3-1 Flyers. We have one last thing to do. There is what's called the supplementary roll. All righty. And what we do on that is we roll 2d6 and a d20 to see if there's any last-minute adjustments to the game. And this is where it gets a little bit fun right here. And I'm probably making it sound way too difficult. It's really not. So let's roll. So my d6 are at the bottom here, and my d20 is right here. So we have a 4, and yes, so we have a 4-16. So what we need to do on 4-16 is we're going to look at the goals for and the goals against rating on the visitor. So that'd be the Flyers. So the goals for and the goals against rating, it's 1-9 and then 10. Let me go to the big one here. Let me show you what it looks like on the big one here. So if I go to the Flyers, they're the visitors. And we'll just take a look at the two different ways of looking at this here. Alrighty. So it's a 1-9 and then 10. So we rolled a 16. So it's actually no modification at all. Because if it's 1-9, we would give them a goal. If it was a 10, we would give a goal to the other team. And that's spelled out over here. So if I go to the modification roll, and we roll the 4. So if it's a 4, compare the D20 result to the GF, so the goals for goals against the visiting team. If the D20 is in range, we add 1 to the visiting team. If it's in range of the GA, we add 1 to the other team. So again, if it's in your goals for, you get 1. If it's in your goals against, they get 1. If it's outside the range, which I believe this is because the Flyers, it says a 10. So 1-9 would be a goal for the Flyers. A 10 would be a goal for the Rangers. It's neither case, so it is neither case. Now we have to roll again. So if we land on one of these, we have to roll again. So let's roll again, and a 5. So this time it's nothing, so that is our final score. So there's nothing here on the supplementary rolls, so our final is going to be 3-1. So there's nothing here. They should have totaled up over here, actually. So 3-1 is our final score. So that's how it works. A little clunky because there's a lot of different checks going on, but if you played it once or twice, it does make sense. Now that you have the final score, if you wanted to, you could come over here and roll on this chart and determine who got the goals. So let's just do that here. So for the Flyers, let's see who got the goals. So we'll roll the dice, and we got a 1 and a 3. So it's going to be 1 and 2. So 7 gets a goal. So that's going to be Billy Barber. I got a 2 and a 9. And 2 and a 9 is going to be 18. So Ross Lonsbury gets a goal. And a 3 and a 3, 18. Lonsbury gets 2 goals. And then you would do the same on the assists. So it's kind of neat how they have it set up with jersey numbers. I really do like that. That's the one thing I like about this game. Is that when you go to the full sheet here, you get the jersey numbers. If we went back to the Rangers to see who got the Rangers' lone goal, we would roll the dice. And it's going to be a 1 and a 2. And I believe, that's a 6 and a 10. I'm rolling off the wrong set. I need a 10 and a 20. All right, so I'm going to use second line. So I'll use the second line for that. I think I might have messed up, but you get the gist of it here. So it'd be a 4 and a 3. So 20. So it'd be Greg Polis would get the goal. So that's how you would do it. Again, you get the 20-sided die and a 10-sided die. You look at the grid, get the jersey number. I like that. I like how they do the jersey numbers here. So you get the light version, which is this right here, that just kind of gives you everything you need just to get the final score. And then you have the full version here to get your stats if you want to do the stats. I think that's kind of neat how they do the stats. I really do. All right, let's play a couple of games here, and maybe I can get it sounding better. So we're going to go play the Summit Series. All right. Here we go. We're going to play the 72 Summit Series between Russia and Canada. Now, I have this all set up here, so we're ready to go. And again, what you need to do is you need to see who's in net. You have your offense, your defense. You modify it with home and away. That gets you your potential number. The potential number, you roll on the chart, and that'll modify the D6 roll. So basically how you're doing this is you're rolling 1d6 to get the amount of goals scored, and then you're using the previous calculations to get a modification to that d6 roll. It's to simplify how you play the game. After you get that score, you do roll on the supplemental roll chart to see if there's anything that changes at the end, and then that's how you get your final score. All right, so let's play a couple of games here. So I have this all set up here. So I have Tretiak and Dryden in Game 1 of the Summit Series. So I already have my potential. So it's going to be a 30 potential for Russia and 24 potential for the Canadians. So we're going to be looking at column 30 here for the Russians. Let's go Russians first. There's my 20-sided die. I got a 20. Wow. So column 30, so 3. Well, I'm going to add 3 to the Russian side. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. All right, so let's roll here. So now we got a 16. So Canada is a 24. And with a 16, that's going to be 1. So I'm adding 1 to the Canadian roll. Okay? So this is where we are right now. So we're adding 3, and we're adding 1. So let's roll the dice. So we're going to go home and away. It's a 6. Wow, look at this. Holy smokes. 6 and 3. And just like in real life, it was a Russian rout. 9-4 is our score. But wait, there's more. We need to roll on a supplementary roll chart. And again, that's 2d6. And if it comes out, then we check the 20-sided die. So it's almost like a little strat baseball check. So let's roll my 2d6. It's a 7. Okay, is the team trailing by 1 or 2 goals? Use percentage rating. No, they're not trailing by 1 or 2 goals. So let's see. If a team trailing with, ignore the results. Okay, so if they're trailing by 3 goals, we ignore the results. So that is going to be our final score. It is going to be 9-4. And that is our final score in Game 1. So the Russians, with a huge game here in Game 1, defeat Canada 9-4. All right, let's go to Game 2. Let's go to Game 2. So now it's Esposito in net, so you can see that it's a little bit, the potential here was 30 against Dryden. It's only 15 against Esposito. So I'm interested to see if it's going to be a better game. I'll leave that other score up, see if we can take a look at it here. All right, so let's roll our dice. Again, I've pre-made a spreadsheet, so all I got to do is type in the defense and the offense, and it calculates our potential. But again, in case you're just jumping in, to get your potential number here is you take your offense plus their defense. If you're home, you add 2. So 22 plus 2 is 24. The visiting team takes their offense, the home goalie rating, and then they subtract 2. So 12 and 5 is 17, minus 2 is 15. And then you come over here and you read off the chart. Higher is better, because this is modifying the D6 roll. So let's roll our 20-sided die for Russia again. This time, instead of column 30, they're on column 15. So let's roll our 20-sided die, and that's good. 14 is good for Russia. So if 14 would be, what did I say? That was 15 and 14. 15 and 14 is a 0. So there's no modification in this game for Russia. Now Canada rolls. Oh, a 1. A 1, so minus 24. 24, it's a minus 1. So they will minus 1. Here's our D6 roll. So Canada already at a disadvantage. Now remember the last time their modification was 3-1. It was a 2-goal differential. Now it's only a 1-goal differential. So let's roll the 2 6-sided die. I got a 4 and 2. And so it's 4-1. So the supplemental roll won't really take effect. I suppose we could do it anyway. So let's see. Oh, they might get a boost here. They might get a home crowd boost. So they need a 12. Oh, they get a 12. Holy cow. 12. So on the supplementary chart, they roll a 12, the home crowd boost. And it's a 17. They get 3 goals. They get 3 goals on this. And we roll again. So the supplementary roll gives Canada 3 goals. And this is tied right now. So this, I screwed up the thing here. That should be this plus this is the formula here. Let me fix this. That's nutty. That's nutty. I got to fix that. So it's going to be, I don't know why I did that. I tried to do these formulas in here, and they don't really work. So that's going to be 4 goals right now for Canada and 4 over here. So we got some craziness going on, but you still have to roll again. So the supplementary roll got them 3 goals, okay, because it's a 12 and then this. So now we still roll. So we roll again, and a 7. So okay. So is the team trailing by 1 or 2 goals? No. Is it a tie game? Yes. So we're going to use the highest percentage. So what does this say over here? So if it's, let's see here. We roll the 7. If the team is trailing by 1 goal, check to consider as empty net. Okay. If it's a tie game, use the highest percentage ratings. If the percentage rating equal, use the percentage of the home team to reflect both teams playing conservatively. If it falls outside the 20, okay. So let's go to here. The highest percentage is 8 and 13. So go back to my chart. It's a tie game. Use the highest percentage. So Canada has a 13. Let me just double check this here. It's my first time doing that particular roll. Let's see here. If it falls in the percentage rating, they get a goal. So if the D20 is equal to under, they score a goal. If it's outside, they allow a goal. Oh, this is not good. Okay. If it's time, okay, use the percent of the home. Okay. Okay, so it does so. Canada can win it now. Canada can win it. The percentages are 13. I roll the D20. If it's 1 to 13, they get the extra goal, and they will win this game 5-4. All right, so 13 is the key. I'm looking here at this little 19 right here. And, it's a 16. They didn't get it, so we go to overtime. So now we got to go to the overtime here, and let's see. Roll a D10 and D20. Read the D10 first. That's the puck control. All righty. I haven't done overtime yet, so we're going to do overtime right here. So where's my overtime chart? There's my overtime chart. So, let's see. D10 is 1 team potential visiting team. Oh, boy, I should have done an overtime. I haven't done an overtime yet. No, actually, no, something. I'm not going to do an overtime because I don't want to tie you up while I learn overtime because I'd have to learn how to. I think they ended in a tie. You can end in a tie. So we're going to end that game in a tie because they did tie. So that gets me out of the bind here trying to figure out overtime. I haven't done an overtime yet. I didn't think I'd get one. But what a comeback, though, with all the rolls. And then they had a chance to win it, too. So that's kind of interesting. So Canada is tied. No, they tied it here. So I need to get rid of my formulas because I screwed up my formulas. So I'll just do these manually. I thought I had my formulas all set and they didn't work. Sorry about this. You have to bear with me while I fix my spreadsheet. There's no way I can do this without fixing it like this. All right. I'm done. All right. Let's get back over here. And I don't need the view. What's going on over here? There we go. That's nuts. Why is it still doing that? All right. Anyway. All right. So it's 1 for Russia, and then we're tied. Now let's go to game 3. So Esposito's back in the net. Here we go. Let's see if we can get this rolling here a little quicker. I already got my potentials. So Russia, we're going to go on the D6 modifier chart. Here we go. Let's roll the 20-sided die. It's a 17. High is good. So a 15-17 is 0. No modifications for Russia. Canada, an 8. 24-8. 24-8 is 0 as well. So there's no modification on the 6-sided die. So it could be a straight-up roll. Here we go. Bottom dice. And it's a 1-1. Oh, boy. So we are tied again. So score is 1-1. We go into the supplementary rolls. Remember that changed. We rolled a 12, and Canada scored 3 goals on the supplementary chart. So let's get going here. And we're going to start here with a 6. No, nothing. So this is tied too. So 2 games in a row are tied. So after a 9-4 Russia win, we had 4-4 and 1-1. So one more game in Canada. That would be game 4. And Dryden is back in the net. So let's go back up here to our chart. And it's going to be a potential of 30. 16. 30 and 16 is good. So that's going to be adding 2. Oh, boy. Russia is tough in this series. So they're going to add 2. Canada is a 24 and a 6. That's not very good. And that's going to be a 0. So going into the D6 roll, Russia has the advantage. Let's roll the dice. A 3 and a 5, and we're tied again. How about that? So a 3 and a 5. So our score is 5-5. So let's go to the supplemental chart to see if there's anything that's going to change here, if we're going to get our 3rd tie in a row. Okay, I have a 7. Yes, we have a tie game. So we use the highest percentage. So we go to the percentage again, and it's Canada with the 13. So the 20-sided die, if it's 1-13, Canada gets the extra goal. And it's a 6. So Canada, they get an extra goal, but we get to roll again. You have to roll again, so it doesn't end. So that's where the drama kind of happens, is on this supplementary roll chart. So let's roll again. 2d6. A 10. Ooh, here we go. So it's the home, goals for, and goals against. So this game is not going to end. So when we roll a 10, we compare the D20 to the goals for, goals against of the home team. If it's in range, it's a goal. If it's on the GA, then it's a goal for the other team. So for Canada, it's 1-7 and 8-14. 1-7, they get a goal. 8-14, they give a goal. And it's a 3, they get a goal. So Canada comes up with another goal on the supplementary chart, and they lead this one now 7-5. But we have to roll again. We have to roll until we get a blank space here. And here it is. An 8. An 8 is a blank space, and that is the final score. So Canada comes back, and they will take this one 7-5. So as you can see, how you play it again, you get your potential number, and you read off of this chart, and this will determine how much you modify your D6 roll. So we get our modification was 2. The roll was 3 and a 5, so it was tied. We had a couple of supplementary chart rolls, and that got Canada 2 goals, and they won that one 7-5. So it is Russia 1, Canada 1, and 2 ties heading to Russia. So now Russia's the home team, and if you remember, the home team adds 2, and the visitors take away 2. That's the home ice advantage. So here we go. Let's roll the dice. Tretiak and Esposito are in the nets. So let's roll the dice here. And so it's a 20-sided die I'm rolling. A 17, that is good for Canada. So a 20 and a 17. Where is 20? Right here. 20 and a 17 is 0. So there's going to be no modification. 19 for Russia. A 19 and a 19. Oh, boy. Let's see if that gets them a 1. No, that's still a 0. So it's even Steven over here in Russia, so it's going to go down to the D6. We roll the D6. 6-6 tie. So it's 6-6, folks. A lot of ties in this series. They were pretty even. Let's go to the supplementary roll. And this time, though, Russia is home. And it's a 5, so there's nothing. So this one ends. There's no supplemental points added. So this one ends 6-6. So we've had 3 ties. It's been split, and we've had 3 ties in this series. It's been even Steven. Dryden's back in the net, though, so that's going to give Russia an advantage here. So let's go back to our chart. Let's roll a D20. So it's a 3. So 20 and a 3, that's -1, but it can't be a shutout because it's got the asterisk. So they're going to lose 1 off the D6 roll. Let's go on 34 now for Russia. 34 is an 8. 34 is an 8, and that's going to be 1. We're going to add 1. So another advantage for Russia going into the D6 roll. Here we go. Let's roll the D6. And no, that's going to be a Russia win here so far, because 7-2 is the score right now. Because again, the modification affects the D6 roll, but we still have the supplementary chart. So let's see if anything can happen here, and anything can happen. So let's roll the chart. And a 7 is the team trailing by 1 or 2 goals. Nope. So we ignore that because it's not a close game. It's 7-2, but we do roll again, and we get a 9, and this time that's it. So there's nothing to show, and it's a big win for Russia here on home ice in Game 6. Scott, no, this is a game. This is not. This is a game, and this game is called Quick Results Hockey. QRhockey.weebly.com is where you can find this game. It's free. You can download the rules, the charts, the score sheets, and then you have your teams, and you have your team light, and then you have your international tournaments, and I'm playing the Summit Series here in 1972 is what I'm doing. So that's where you can find this stuff, is qrhockey.weebly.com. And, again, here's your teams. This is the light version of the game, and if you want to keep scores with goals and assists, there's a bigger version here that has all the players on there. So, but I'm playing the Summit Series here, and again, I'm not keeping goals and assists in this thing yet. So let's go to Game 7. And again, I'll recap how to play it. So basically what you're doing is, if you look over here on the chart, Esposito's in the net, and next to Esposito's name is a 5. So I put 5 for the defense. Tretiak is an 11, so I put 11 for the defense. Canada's offense is 11, and the USSR offense is 12. So to get your goal potential number, which is just, it's not a potential amount of goals, it's kind of worded kind of weird. It's the chart you're reading off of. That's just the number off the chart that you're reading. That's your potential number. I think they should have called it something different, because it does, goal potential, I get 20 goals. No, it's just the goal potential number. They had to call it something, so it's called the goal potential number. That's what you're going to read on the chart. If you're away, you subtract 2. If you're home, you add 2. So once you get your potential number, you go to this chart right here, you roll a D20, and it goes from 1 to 40. So again, we're looking at row 20 and row 19. So we're even Steven here. And that 20-sided die could add or subtract a goal from your score. And if you're a really bad team, you can subtract 4. If you're a really good team, you can add 5. So this is going to be the modification to a single D6 roll for the score of the game. And then you get the bonus rolls, we'll call it. All right, so let's start with Canada again. We're going to roll a 20-sided die, and it's a 5. So in 20 and 5, there's going to be a 0. So there's going to be no modification. So for Russia, we're going to roll. They get a 10, a 19, and a 10, and that is also a 0. So there's no advantage going in to the D6 roll. Here comes a D6 roll. 6-1 Canada. So Russia's going to need something huge here in the supplementary roll. So this is the bonus roll. If you get a roll of 4, 7, 10, or 12, then you can potentially add or subtract goals. Anything else, and the game ends. So I'm looking at my 2D6 at the bottom. I have a 10. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to use the home, goals for, and goals against rating. So Russia's home. So if they roll a 1 to a 7, they get a goal. 8 to 14, they give up a goal. 20 is out of the range, so it's neither. So we're going to roll again, because you got to keep rolling until you end up on a blank space. A 9 ends the game. So that is our final score. It is 6-1 Canada. So, if I'm not mistaken, Russia won. So it's 1-0-2, and it's 1-1-2. And then it was a tie, so it's 1-1-3. So Russia wins, so they're 2-1-3. So it's 2-2-3. Game 8 will decide this. This is really cool. So it's going to come down to Game 8. It was an 8-game series, and actually Canada had to win. I think they won 3 games in Russia to actually to win the series there, because they lost a couple in Canada. So this one's tied up. This is 2-2-3. Each team is 1-2, lost 2, and tied 3 and we go to Game 8. So all the marbles are here in Game 8. So again, it's Dryden in net, which is not good for Canada because Esposito has the better number in this game. But we're going to play with actual goalies. So let's roll the dice here. So our potential is a 20. And again, this is just, they should have called this the potential chart because that would have made more sense. So I don't like how they call it potential because it's misleading. But anyways, we're going to roll a 20-sided die, and it's a 7. So on a 20 and a 7, it's a 0 modification. So there's no modifications. Tretiak in Russia, they have a 34 potential. So anything above a 5, and they'll start adding. And they got 3. Holy cow, this is even Steven, so it's another 0. It's another 0. So it's going to come down to the D6 rolls to determine this series, possibly. So here we go. Canada is black, Russia's white, and it's, oh, man, they got smoked 6-1. We will roll on the supplemental chart. And it's an 8, and that is that, and that's the final score. So that's the final, folks. There it is. Let's go back and recap. So Russia wins this 3, 2, and 3. So Russia wins 1, Russia wins 2, and then Russia wins the last one, 3. Oh, boy, look at that. Canada won 6-1, and Russia won 6-1. So fun little game here. Again, let me go back and take a look at some of the things here. I'll maximize that so you can look at it here. So there's the modifier chart, a supplementary chart. And again, if you wanted to find who scored the goals, you can do that. I'm not going to do that here. There's the overtime chart. But they didn't play overtime, so I don't have to worry about overtime. They got the 3 on overtime and the whole bit. They got shootouts. They did it all here. Everything's here if you want to play a normal game. So if I was playing playoffs, I'd have to play overtime. I haven't played overtime. I didn't really feel like learning it tonight because I just was going to play this instead. But it's all there. And again, this is the light version of the game where you just get your the percentages come in on a supplementary chart is what that is. And so you get your offense, you get the goalies with the defense. You can even roll to see who plays net, or you can just pick one out, whatever you want to do. And then over here, this is the full-fledged game, where you would roll to see who's in net by jersey number. Then you'd roll for goals and get a jersey number, and then roll for assists as well. So you could really fill in all the stats if you wanted to. Interesting game. Very interesting game. And again, if we come over here, so seasons available at 19, 11, and 12, 66, 67, 74, 75, which I played a little bit tonight, 86, 87, 91, 92, and 2018, 19. Plus the 72 Summit Series, which we just played, the 80 Olympics, and the 87 Canada Cup as well. So there's a handful of things here to play in this game. Very fun. There's the rules are here. Let me shrink the rules down. I blew this up here. But it shows you how to pick the goalie, how to determine your team potential number, then how to do the visitor goalie, get the home potential number, determine the goals. And then, what happens if you have a team potential higher than 40 and less than 1? It explains that here. It talks about the supplementary rolls, which we talked about. There's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 rolls out of the 2d6 that'll determine if the game continues or not. You got your overtime here, which I tried to figure out on the fly, but I couldn't figure it out on the fly, so I didn't do overtime. But you got your shootout. You get your 5-minute overtime here, same procedure. And you have all kinds of other things going on in this game. And it gives you an example of gameplay, too. So I screwed up in the beginning explaining it, but it's all here. And then you get stats here and the whole bit. So it does a pretty decent job. I'm kind of liking it here. Let me go back to Studio B. It's a fun little game. It's a fun little game. It's fun for doing what I did tonight, banging out a quick series there. I think this has come out recently. I got this on the Delphi forum. It was actually Hockey Unreal, who was the one that pointed it out to me, and then Smelly Wrestling Geeks reminded me earlier tonight to go check it out. So it's a free game, and there's a handful of seasons, plus Olympics and international teams, as well as the Summit Series. The 87 one might be kind of fun. I might play that one offline and get some stats to play that. That would be the who would be on 87? That'd be Gretzky Lemieux, right? I think that would be Gretzky and Lemieux. So that would be a fun one to do as well. Did I download that? Yeah, I did. I wonder if I can show you that. Um, so it's oh, that had, I didn't realize it. They had Finland and Sweden playing in that. That was just Canada. So yeah, Anderson, Howachuk, Messier, Gartner, Denid, Goulet, Gretzky, Lemieux, Coffee. Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one to play. I'll do that one too. So, but yeah, there you go. It's free to play. There's enough seasons to get you going. Hi, Mungo Jerry. It looks pretty good. Again, when I try to explain these type of games, I just trip myself up trying to explain it. Like it's like a Downey game. It's like, oh, you take your offense plus or minus their defense with a home away modification, and that gives you a number, and then that number you roll on a chart to see what the goal is. So it's very similar to a Downey game, whereas you're doing that little quick math between your offense, their defense, plus or minus the home and away, and then that gives you a potential number, it's called. And then from there, that's when you roll the 20-sided die on the chart, and that's how you tells you how much you modified the D6. There's a lot of steps in it, but once you get going, it moves pretty quick. And like as you can see, it was a fun time tonight. That one game, Canada was trailing, and they got 3 goals on the supplemental shot roll, and they won the game. Or they tied the game. They were down by 3, and they got it. So I do like that. That adds some drama to the game. And you got to keep rolling on that. So in theory, if you kept hitting the 12, you could be tacking on all kinds of goals for the home team. I think they should probably put a cap on that. That if you hit that once, then that ends. Maybe that would be a good homebrew. Is if you hit that one once, that's it. So you couldn't roll that again. But again, it's a neat little game, and it's free, and it's got 74, 75. It's got 72. It's got a couple seasons that I would play as far as teams go. But yeah, it's another fun little quick play hockey game that, like I said, I stumbled on that with Hockey on Reels channel, and then tonight. And I like the fact that if you want to add on the assists and goals at the end, you can do that if you really do. And you can determine if their power play is even strength or short-handed. So there's all kinds of ways you can do it and play it to get your stats or build the stats at the end. Again, kind of similar to Shootout EZ, where if it's not an official rule, but my homebrew for Shootout EZ is that I get all the goals and I flip to determine who got them using the shootout cards, as if I just scored a goal in shootout hockey to get me the assists and the goals. So, yeah, just another fun little hockey game here. I do like how they have the Summit Series and they do have the 87, and I think they're going to add more teams there. So I wanted to do a video on this tonight because I just picked it up, and again, I was up and running in 5 minutes. I didn't do a good job of explaining it, but it's fairly simple once you get going. And I set up the spreadsheet, so I just put in the offense and defense, and it calculated it all for me. So it's that's all set. So once you do that, it's a piece of cake. It's a couple dice rolls. You need 20-sided die, a 10-sided die, and at least 2 6-sided dice to make it work. And you don't roll them all at the same time. You roll them at different times. That's the funny thing about it. It's like one time you're rolling the 6 and the 10, and then you roll the 20 by itself, and then you're rolling the 10 and the 20, and then you're rolling the 2 6-sideds and the 20. So it's just weird. It's weird how you're bouncing around between the different dice, but it's just reading off a couple of charts is what you're doing. And again, you don't have to roll for the goalie unless you want to. Yeah, if you can just put whoever in net if you want to. But anyway, hey, I'm Dave playing some quick results hockey. I like it. I do. I think it's kind of neat. I like how they have some of my favorite seasons already. So I will talk to everybody later. You guys will have a good night. Bye-bye.